Hi, my name is Michelle, and I am the owner and CEO of Passionate CNA Home Care Service LLC. Now, you know, as a CNA, we have a lot of things that we have to do, and one of those things is dealing with our diabetic clients that need insulin. A lot of diabetics don't like to really take their blood sugars because it hurts their fingers, or they kind of been a diabetic for such a long time that they kind of know what they sugar may be running and how they feel. They base it on the blood sugar, how they feel, the blood sugar on how they feel. But when you are with a client, you need to make sure that you are checking the blood sugar. Even if they don't use insulin, you still need to check the blood sugar. But for your insulin dependent clients, I am going to show you how to use an insulin pen today. So, first of all, you would get your supplies together. Your gloves, your insulin pen, your needle, alcohol swabs. Okay, so once you know what the blood sugar is, that determines how much insulin the client is supposed to get. Some clients are on sliding scale. Like I said, some clients just know how much insulin they need, but you need to, the client needs to know, because as a CNA, you're really not supposed to give insulin as far as turning the dial on the insulin pen. All you can do is hand it to the client. So I'm going to show you how to use the insulin pen. So you put your gloves on. Some people don't use gloves, but I use gloves just in case. Okay, this is your insulin pen. Right here, when you turn this, say the client needs 20 units of insulin, you would turn this to 20. Okay, there's a needle that will stick on to here. Once this goes up, the needle is going to be on here. Okay, so you have that. So when you go into the client, you say, Mr. or Mrs. So-and-so, my name is Michelle. I'm here to assist you with your insulin. Can you please tell me what your blood sugar is? Or they should have just taken their blood sugar where you can see it. But some clients, like I said, that have been diabetic for a while, they just know, how much insulin they need. So once you do that, you offer them, you undo this, the alcohol swab, you tear it open, you hand them the alcohol swab so they can either wipe the fatty part of their arm or the fatty part of their stomach. I personally like it to air dry, but some people like to fan it, the area like the arm or the stomach. I personally just like it to air dry. So once you know exactly how much insulin the client needs, you would put it on that number. You would take the top off. You would put it to the side, the top. You would take this green piece off, okay? Then once you take the green piece off, you would hand it to the client because you're assisting. The only thing you can do, you can't stick the needle. As a CNA, you cannot stick the needle in their arm or in their stomach. They have to be able to do that. So you would take this green piece off and take the needle away from you, and do not hand the client this part. Like, do like that. Don't do that. You need to turn it towards you but away from you, and hand the client the insulin pen, and then they can turn it around and stick themselves. Once they stick themselves, this green piece will be off and it will be a needle there. You don't want to try to put the green cap back on it, because you're not supposed to recap needles. But for safety, you can put this back on, and you can take this off and store it in a biohazard container for needles. You can take it off, and that way you're keeping yourself safe from getting needle sticks. That is how you use an insulin pen. So I hope this information was helpful for you. If it was, please like this information, comment that it was helpful, and if you or a loved one is in need of home care services, feel free to call 336-893-5242. My name is Michelle from Passionate CNA Home Care Service LLC. Thank you so much for joining me today.